Have you ever felt like you're carrying a weight you just can't explain? Maybe it feels like a battle you didn't sign up for, a struggle in your mind, your emotions, or even your spirit. That's where deliverance comes in. Today we're diving into what deliverance really is, why it's important, and what the Bible says about it. So stick with me, because this might be the breakthrough that you've been waiting for. Now, what is deliverance? Deliverance in its simplest form means being set free. It's the process by which God rescues us from spiritual bondage or oppression. Jesus said in John chapter 8, verse 36, "So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." That freedom is what deliverance is all about. But let me be clear. Deliverance isn't just about being freed from demons, though that can be part of it. It's also about breaking strongholds, removing obstacles, and walking in the fullness of the freedom Christ paid for on the cross. Why is deliverance necessary? You might be wondering, if I'm a believer, why would I need deliverance? Isn't salvation enough? Salvation brings us into God's kingdom and secures our eternity, but deliverance deals with the battles we face in our soul and our body while we're still on earth. The Bible talks about strongholds in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 4 and 5, where Paul says, "The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds." Strongholds can look like fear, anger, addiction, or even generational patterns passed down in families. Deliverance is how God demolishes those strongholds and sets us free to live in His peace. There are a few biblical examples of deliverance I would love to share with you. We see deliverance all throughout the Bible. One of the most powerful examples in this is in Mark chapter 5, where Jesus cast out a legion of demons from a man. The man was tormented, isolated, and hopeless. But after encountering Jesus, he was completely set free and restored. Another example is found in Exodus, where God delivered the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. This wasn't just a physical rescue. It symbolized God's power to deliver His people from oppression, sin, and bondage. These stories remind us that God's heart is for our freedom, whether it's spiritual, emotional, or physical deliverance. He is able to set us free. But how do we experience deliverance? So how do we experience deliverance? It starts with surrendering to God. Deliverance isn't about trying harder. It's about allowing God to step into the areas of our life where we feel stuck or bound. Here are 3 key steps to experiencing deliverance. Number 1 is we need to acknowledge the need for freedom. It's a time to be honest with God about the struggles that you're facing. Number 2 is to pray with faith. Ask God to deliver you, just as David prayed in Psalms chapter 34, verse 17. "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles." And lastly, walk in obedience. Freedom often requires us to let go of habits, relationships, or mindsets that keep us in bondage. I want you to know that deliverance isn't just for other people. It's for me. It's for you. Jesus came to set you free, completely free, not halfway, not temporarily, but fully. If this message has resonated with you, take a moment today to pray and invite God into those areas where you need deliverance. And if you want to learn more about how to walk in spiritual freedom, make sure to subscribe, because we're just getting started on this journey together.